Hi everybody and welcome to my latest podcast, and I'm going to be talking about the subject of money. This is actually a specialist subject of mine. I am going to be talking about money confidence and how to have a good relationship with money. And this might cover more than one podcast. I have actually written a book called From Zero to Money Hero, of which most of the content of this podcast will be taken from. If you're interested in that book, I will put a link down below. Money is such an important aspect of our lives. It's something that is the second longest relationship that we'll ever have. The longest relationship that we'll have is the relationship we have with ourselves. And the second longest relationship that pretty much all of us will have is the relationship we have with money. So it's vital that we understand what it is, and it's vital that we understand how to put it into perspective and its correct place in our lives. That's very hard to do when we're constantly trying to chase money just to survive. So I hope with the understanding that I'm going to be giving you today that you can get a better perspective of what money is, how it's made, and it is made. There isn't a limited amount of money in the world. It's something that is growing, and it will continue to grow as long as humans want to interact with each other and trade, and how you can incorporate some tools, some techniques, and some confidence around how to own your money as opposed to letting money own you. So my background is pretty straightforward. I have been very lucky. I had a great career in business, and that taught me how to make and to manage money. And it's something that we should all know about. But I didn't know anything about money when I was growing up. I was taught how to count coins at school when I was around 7 years old, and no more money lessons followed after that. I didn't have an allowance at school. When I was older, I was given money on my birthdays, which I mostly put into a savings account and used to travel when I was just after school, left school. And I left school at age 17 knowing nothing about money, and it didn't take me too long before I got into financial trouble. So I worked on a farm after university and travelling to pay off some of my debts, and then I left home to go and be trained to be an accountant. And the only reason I did that was because I figured it was something that was quite easy to get into as a career, and I enjoyed maths. So I kind of fell into it. It wasn't something I really intended to do. After being an accountant, I went into manufacturing and into a company that ended up being a global company, and I ended up running the finances for that company and for other companies. And then I went on to be a financial turnaround consultant, helping companies and people who have got themselves into big financial trouble. So I've had a pretty stellar background in how to handle and deal with money after I got myself out of debt. It's really important that we have fun with money. It's a vast and complex subject. I'm going to be really focusing on the simplicity of having money confidence and understanding what it is in your life. My job is not to go into technical detail about where to put savings and how to deal with loans and all that kind of stuff. There are some amazing people out there who do that far better than I do. What I'm really interested in is your emotional relationship with money and how to put it into a great and happy perspective in your life so that it, again, doesn't control you, you control your money. So I'm going to start with a myth buster that money doesn't grow on trees, but money does grow. So it's not a limited finite resource. Everyone can make money if they know how to make it grow. Most people give their energy and abilities away to other people. So money grows from our energy and our ability. Not for today, but for another podcast, I'm going to be talking about how to control money, one of the most powerful tools that we can use to control our money and our future understanding of what our money is going to be for us on an individual basis or on a corporate level, is to learn how to build and use a cash flow forecast, which is basically looking at your money in and your money out over time and accounting for things like timing differences, because money tends to flow reasonably regularly out anyway on a month-by-month basis. So we have things like rent and car payments that we know we have to pay on certain days and certain times of the month. And we, if we're working for somebody, tend to know what our income is. If we're running a business, there's quite often patterns in how money is going to flow in from new customers. So a cash flow tool is one of the most simple things. It's not about maths. It's just about the flow of something more coming in than something going out and timing differences. I'm not going to cover off that today, but it's something that I'm going to talk about. So if I talk about a cash flow, that's what I'm talking about. Mythbuster 2, physical gold is no longer required to back up a country's monetary system. The amount of money circulating the world now far exceeds the amount of physical gold. So there aren't vaults of gold sitting in banks. There might be in some, but there doesn't have to be vaults of gold sitting in a bank for the bank to be able to issue money. I'm also going to give you a quote that money will not make your marriage any better. This is from Anay Hamashari. Nor will it make you happier. Instead, money will just expand your available options in life. More money equals more options. Money mastery is an interactive journey. And while I talk about money, it's very important that you interact with your relationship with money, to understand it, to look at it, to face it, and to actually say, how do I want to have a relationship with money? How is it going to show up for me in my life? And how am I actually going to give it its place as a tool that will help me have a good time? And hopefully the information I'm going to give you over the next podcast or two will help you with that. Another quote here from Anon: what are you chasing? When we set out on our life's money journey, we often set goals for what we want in the future. To get rich, to retire early, to buy a house, to save for a wedding. And we look at that and then stress today because we're not there yet. It's really important to make time, relax and enjoy the now, because this moment will never happen again. So I want to define money confidence. Money is deeply personal. And money confidence is distinct from personal confidence. So money confidence is how we handle money. Our personal confidence is how we present ourselves to the outside world and how we deal with other people. And that differs fundamentally from our inner self-esteem or self-worth. And we get very confused between our financial value and our inner self-value. Self-worth should not be confused with financial worth. Outwardly confident individuals can struggle with internal miseries. Outwardly confident individuals can have real financial issues. And people can accumulate substantial wealth without necessarily feeling confident. And affluent individuals may continue to pursue more wealth and fail to satisfy their emotional needs. Our relationship with money is deeply personal, and yet it's significantly influenced by those around us and ingrained societal beliefs and norms. Historically, money has been a tool for control, used for personal gain, greed, manipulation, and dominance. However, its primary function has always been, and still is, facilitating trade between two parties when a direct exchange of goods or services is not feasible. I'm just going to repeat that again. It's about facilitating trade between two parties when a direct exchange of goods or services is not feasible. It is effectively a IOU note. That is all it is. Despite being a practical tool used in everyday life, it's often associated with many emotions, fears, doubts, and desires. Surprisingly, formal education systems rarely teach about money, and this is a situation that urgently needs to change. And I will just mention now that I have formed a charity called Money Mind Scotland to help bring financial education into Scottish schools. The relentless pursuit of money leads humanity towards devastating consequences for the beauty and essence of our life on planet Earth. Because we don't understand its place in our life, and the lack of education remains on achieving a balanced relationship with money and managing the energy that money represents in our lives. So just to conclude this section, everybody deserves the opportunity to learn about money and to develop a comfortable and confident relationship with it. And I aim to try to help you identify what might be preventing you from achieving tremendous financial success. I aim to help you recognize who shapes your perceptions of money and assist you in reassessing your financial relationship. And what I'm going to talk about next is to enhance your understanding of the true nature of money and why it holds such a significant emotional influence in our lives. I'm going to finish this section with a quote from Napoleon Hill: "If you do not see great riches in your imagination, you will never see them in your bank balance." A couple of questions to ask yourself. Would you like more money than you have just now? And if yes, how much would you like? Be really specific. And if you don't want more, why is that? I'm just going to point out here for those ladies and gentlemen amongst you, and this is not necessarily always the way it works, but many times ladies will undersell how much more money they want, and men will go for a big goal. And that's something, if you're a lady and you're struggling with money, it's really important to understand what it is that's holding you back from saying that you want quite a lot more. Because if you don't want it and don't believe that you're worth having it, that's something about how you feel and how you value yourself that's worth looking at. Something else to have a think about: who has influenced your views on money from when you were little until today? Write down everyone you can think of and then how you think they feel about money. Okay, so let's just look at money as a relationship. I want to start by saying and understanding for everybody that money is invented. It's a human invention. It's not used by other animals. You won't find any creatures out in the wild carrying wallets, exchanging currency, or managing bank accounts. Humans created money to enable exchanges when direct bartering wasn't feasible, and this innovation allowed people to trade goods and services efficiently even when a direct swap wasn't immediately possible. Throughout history, money has taken various forms, evolving to meet the needs of different societies. Over time, we've seen precious shells, say that word, clay tokens, and pieces of bamboo, for example, used as currency. Each of these forms served the same purpose, which is representing value tangibly, like something that you could physically swap. Metal coins emerged as a preferred form of money because they're harder to counterfeit. They offer a more secure and reliable transaction. Money has transitioned chiefly to a digital format in our modern era, and yet the underlying concept remains the same. So regardless of its form, whether it's shells, coins, or digital entries, and there's still a island nation in the Pacific that uses huge, great big stones as money, that's their currency. All money essentially acts as an IOU note. It is a promise granting its holder the right to obtain goods or services in the future. And if you can go and find or pick out of your wallet a pound note, a dollar bill, a piece of paper that has come from a bank and read it, you will see on every single note printed by the bank, I owe the bearer of this note the amount that is on the face of that note. Basically, the bank says, I'm printing a legal IOU note that is allowed to be swapped for recognized transactions. So money's fundamental role is to facilitate value exchanges between two parties. It's a tool that enables the trade of countless items, encompassing not just physical goods, but also the energy and skills of individuals. And this versatility makes money a cornerstone of a society's and economic systems. Indeed, the range of items that can be exchanged for money is limitless, encompassing tangible goods and the intangible, such as a person's time, energy, and skills. Money is a universal medium, allowing us to assign value to and trade diverse assets. And these include anything from physical objects like electronics, clothing, food, services, and skills like teaching, artistic abilities, consulting expertise, and more abstract assets such as intellectual property or digital products. These can all be traded for money. Money is a tool that converts various forms of value into a universally recognized and exchangeable format, and this enables a wide array of transactions and interactions in our complex societies. So Mythbuster 3, there isn't a fixed amount of money in the world. Money is limitless and it grows. Beliefs, energy, attitudes, and fears stop people from receiving more money. Money is emotional. Money, though fundamentally a tool for exchanging value, often becomes deeply emotional due to its ties to personal effort and societal values. Consider the typical scenario of an employee working for an employer. The employee trades their time and skills for money, which is used to acquire necessities for them, like shelter, clothing, food, and other desirable items. The worker's energy and effort contribute to creating products or services for the employer, who then sells these services or products and generates revenue. The emotional aspect of money often stems from perceptions and realities of fairness in this exchange. How much a worker's time and effort are valued can be a significant source of emotion. And this is particularly true when there's a stark contrast between the compensation of employees and the earnings of business owners or higher level executives. The disparity in income and the perceived value of different roles within an organisation or society can lead to feelings of injustice, dissatisfaction, or even motivation, depending on the individual's perspective and circumstances. While money's primary function is to facilitate transactions, its role in representing the value of human labour and the discrepancies in this valuation across different levels of an organisation introduces a complex emotional dimension to its use. So another factoid, that money is the second longest relationship that you will ever have. The longest relationship is the one you have with your total self, which is your mind, your body, your inner energy, and the environment all combined. Money's value is very individual to you. The perception of the value of money is highly individual and subjective. On the surface of it, a £20 note or a £20 dollar bill is, without any doubt, worth £20 or $20. Yet the significance of that amount varies substantially from person to person, influenced by their unique circumstances and mindset. So, for example, an additional $20 or £20 can represent a substantial amount for somebody who has limited financial resources. It could be the difference between having a meal or going hungry, or being able to afford a necessity or even a small luxury. In this context, £20 or $20 holds considerable value. Conversely, an extra £20 might seem very inconsequential for a financially comfortable or wealthy person. In their financial landscape, it might not have the same impact or emotional weight. This concept extends beyond just cash to how we value time and the products of our labour. The worth assigned to a person's time or an item they create is deeply personal and varies from individual to individual. Similarly, how a person values their work and time reflects their self-perception and priorities. Therefore, while money has significant monetary value, its actual worth in daily life and personal esteem can differ significantly, influenced by individual experiences, financial circumstances, and personal beliefs. Is a quote by Bernard Hopkins: "If you don't earn your value, someone else will tell you your value and it will be less than you are worth." Money is a relationship. Money represents more than a mere transactional tool. It forms a continuous relationship shaped by our interactions and perceptions. This relationship with money mirrors our relationship with ourselves and is influenced by our interactions with others. From the first time we handle money, we embark on a lifelong journey with it. This relationship can take many forms. It might be characterized by lack, scarcity, and sacrifice, or luck, or it could be one of balance, trust, and control. As we grow and evolve, so does our relationship with money, reflecting the changes in how we see and value ourselves. Learning to value oneself is vital to fostering a positive relationship with money and enhancing overall life satisfaction. Self-worth plays a crucial role in how we manage and perceive our finances. When we value ourselves, we're more likely to make financial decisions that reflect this respect and self-care. Human nature includes a deep-seated fear of rejection, shame, and humiliation. We naturally seek connection with others, whether it's through friendship, family ties, community involvement, or professional relationships. This desire for belonging can sometimes lead us to diminish our own worth or capabilities to fit in, as standing out could be uncomfortable or lead to disapproval from others. Our financial behaviours and attitudes often directly reflect our self-perception and the influence of our societal and social circles. How we handle, spend, and think about money can reveal much about our self-esteem and desire for acceptance and connection. Therefore, nurturing a healthier, more confident relationship with ourselves can positively influence our relationship with money, leading to a more balanced and fulfilling financial lifetime journey. Mythbuster 4: money doesn't make everyone happy. Only being happy makes anyone happy. Money does give power and choices though, like not having to work for somebody who is aggressive or unhappy or abusive towards you. Money can go very wrong. Money can lead to complex and sometimes problematic scenarios. It's a neutral entity. It does not distinguish between who deserves it and who doesn't. So wealth accumulation often involves leveraging the energy and efforts of others, and with wealth often comes power. This power, derived from financial security and the ability to make choices, can be used positively or misused. If it's misused, it is in fact force, not power. Throughout history, there have been countless instances where individuals have abused power for personal gain, often at the expense of others. In these contexts, money becomes a tool for exerting control, influence, and force. Despite its significance, money management is not a universal skill taught in schools. This lack of education can leave many unprepared to handle their finances effectively. The emotions surrounding money are often intense. People may feel fear, embarrassment, or shame if they have limited financial resources. Societal pressures and the perceived success of others can exacerbate these feelings. In an attempt to cope with these emotions, it's not uncommon for individuals to use money to feel better, sometimes leading to impulsive purchases. This behaviour can further complicate one's financial situation, mainly when accumulating debt. Finding oneself in debt can be overwhelming, and not knowing who to turn to for help can exacerbate this situation. Also, witnessing others who are financially better off can sometimes evoke jealousy or resentment, and this is particularly true in societies where wealth is often equated with success and happiness. While money is a crucial aspect of modern life, its impact goes far beyond mere transactions. It affects our emotions, behaviours, and relationships, and can significantly influence our self-worth and place in society. Understanding and navigating the complexities of money is an essential part of life, requiring education and introspection. One final little money factoid today: you don't always need money to start a business. Many people who have made money already help others to bring new ideas for life, and these are called angels or startup investors, and they often provide both money and expertise. I'm just going to read you a story now about Kylie. Kylie is a real person. I have changed her name, but this is a real person and a real story. This is somebody who I really admire. Kylie's story is a powerful example of how self-perception and self-worth can profoundly impact one's relationship with money. At 22, Kylie struggled with inadequacy, believing others were better and more deserving than she was. Despite having an exciting job, she earned a low wage and a deep-seated fear of money. Kylie's approach to money was impulsive. She experienced a temporary rush of happiness when receiving money, whether from winnings or wages, and she quickly spent it, often on online bingo. This pattern led her into a cycle of debt, particularly with credit cards, and she was embarrassed about her financial fears. A turning point came when a friend advised her to manage her credit card debt more effectively, and by prioritising debt payments immediately upon receiving her wages, Kylie began to feel a sense of control over her finances. This shift was the first step in transforming her relationship with money. The real change, however, came from within, when Kylie embarked on a journey of self-discovery leading to value herself and her worth. And this newfound self-esteem empowered her to advocate for herself at work. When her request for a pay rise was denied, she didn't give up. Instead, she sought new opportunities. Her confidence and self-belief paid off, and she secured a much better job with a significantly higher salary and a more supportive boss. Kylie's transformation underscores the interconnectedness of self-worth and financial well-being. Her journey from fear and impulsiveness to empowerment and control over her finances illustrates how developing a positive self-image can lead to more confident and effective money management. So in conclusion, humans conceived money as a means to facilitate trade, acting essentially as an IOU note. Its significance, however, extends far beyond this primary function due to its emotional weight. This emotional aspect is merely because individuals often exchange their energy and time for money, and the fairness and respect with which this exchange is valued can vary greatly. While cash has a definitive numerical value marked on it, its true worth is subjective and personal. The value of money varies for each individual, depending on their specific circumstances, needs, and perceptions at any given moment. And a final quote from Henry Ford: "If you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you always got." Thank you for listening today. I'm going to finish there. There is more to come from my book, From Zero to Money Hero. If you'd like to buy the book, I'll put a link down below. And I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I will provide more in the upcoming days. Take care.